Hello again. I was just thinking about doing a new YouTube video, and I came across a talk on one of the other groups where people were debating about the various types of exercises, including yoga, especially since International Yoga Day was a few days ago. And I was surprised to know that everybody had different thoughts about the value of the yoga and whether it is cardiovascular benefits, this benefit, that benefit. It kind of triggered my curiosity to say that even among educated people, certain things are not clear. So I thought of doing this particular video. Hopefully it will clarify some of the concepts. So when we talk about an exercise and various types of exercises are talked about, nowadays several people are doing more and more of yoga. Over a period of about a decade or so, about 15% or a little less than 15% people in this country have done some kind of yoga in less than a year. So it certainly has gone up from about 7-8%. Unfortunately, people have a lot of misconceptions about yoga and what they actually do. So a lot of times people use the terms aerobic or cardio, and also there's another term called anaerobic exercises and muscle training and these kind of stuff. So let me clarify by starting these explanation on these terms. Aerobic exercise is where body uses the oxygen. Anaerobic exercise is where oxygen is not used as much as it is done with aerobic exercises. So if I'm walking on a treadmill or walking in a street or walking on a track or running, I'm doing an aerobic exercise. My muscles are using oxygen. However, if I start quickly and do a repetitive action like we do with, say, running for a minute or so and then stopping, as it is called intermittent training, then these things are anaerobic because the body has not caught up with the oxygen requirement that we have. So, as in my previous videos, I had mentioned that the three things are needed. One of them is a flexibility of the muscles and joints, and that can be achieved by stretching and exercises. Part of it, this could be a yoga or yogic exercises. Now, if the intensity of the yoga is very high, you could get increase in heart rate, which could benefit the cardiovascular system. So, depending upon the intensity of the yoga, how many mets, as they call it, are used, you could or you could not get the benefits of cardiovascular. So if I'm running, I will get cardiovascular benefit. If I'm bicycling fast, I can get cardiovascular benefits. Both of these exercises are aerobic exercises where I'm using oxygen. However, if I do yoga very slowly, which just involves stretching and movements and flexibility of neck, shoulders, arms, legs, back muscle, I will not achieve the level of intensity that would increase my heart rate to a point where I get cardiovascular benefits. So is it important or is it needed that we have the benefits of cardiovascular? Absolutely. So that's why we need to do 3 different types of exercises. One of which is a flexibility training, or as I said, yogic exercises, and then of course the cardiovascular. So I was going to talk about the anaerobic exercise. The anaerobic exercise is important because in anaerobic activity, the muscles are using stored energy rather than depending upon the oxygen, and the oxygen debt occurs. So when we do an exercise testing, we talk about VO2 max, which is maximum oxygen consumption that our body can achieve. And then we also talk about anaerobic threshold. So in people that are poorly trained, their anaerobic threshold is different than people who are athletes and have had training done. So if I'm doing a weightlifting, either free weights or weights that are lifted because with the machines, there is no cardio training, but it is primarily for muscle toning and muscle mass increase if possible. At this time, the muscles are working anaerobically, which means they're using the stored glucose or energy from their own muscles. When you do anaerobic training, which is like a high intensity intermittent training, which a lot of trainers use, or we also do it like jumping ropes, or of course the muscle training. These are all examples of anaerobic training. It causes several benefits. The muscle training increases the muscle mass and the muscle strength. After age 27, we start losing muscle mass. Some people say 1% of the muscle mass is lost every year starting at 27. There are others who say we start losing after age 40. If you look at the palm and the muscle right there where I'm pointing, that muscle starts getting atrophied after age 40. And so you lose the muscle mass. Since muscles burn the calories and a fat does not burn the calories, if you lose the muscle mass, if your intake continues to be of same amount of calories, you're going to gain weight because your burning calories is less. So for the 2 different people, age 25, comparing it to age 55, the muscle mass is less at age 55, calories burnt are less at rest and otherwise, and with the same intake, you're going to gain the weight. So there is definitely a benefit of muscle toning and helping to regain or retain muscle mass. The second one is on bones. Prevention of osteoporosis. If you do the muscle training, in addition to, of course, calcium, vitamin D supplementation, it will help the bone mass or bone density to be preserved. And it also causes decrease in fat. So when you do the muscle training, you are helping yourself to reduce the fat, improve the muscle tone and mass, improve the bone density, and this is anaerobic training. So it must be incorporated in every workout that we plan to do. How many times in a week should you do it? Or how many minutes between this and the walking or running or jogging should be incorporated? Some rough estimates are about 150 minutes per week is enough of total. Now that includes the cardio training and muscle training. There must be a warm-up stage and there must be a warm cool down state. So between all this, on an average in a week, you should do about 150 minutes, and you can divide that between 20 to 30 minutes and then 4 sessions or so in a week. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but this is just the beginning of the exercise training. Thank you for watching. If you like, please subscribe. Have a nice day.